Hello everyone and welcome back. Hope you're having a great day and we're all doing well. Just want to quickly thank you all for 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's a milestone I never thought I'd hit and I am truly grateful. It really does mean the world to me. So the other day I made a video talking about a few operators that Ubisoft have officially listed that are going to be getting some changes and reworks. These can go from small changes to something major. And there was one operator that wasn't on that list which many of you expected to be on it. I won't lie, I expected them to be on it as well, and that is Sens. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Sens is absolutely awful, and there's literally never a reason to pick them. I do think the idea of Sens is cool. I think it does fit in Siege to some degree. However, I feel like what we have right now just isn't it. And before you go smacking comments right now saying, oh well, I have this strat for Sens which works all the time for me, I do this with Sens and it works greatly, then I'm happy for you. I'm glad Sens works for you. However, you can factually get that same level of success, actually a higher level of success, by just bringing a standard smoke grenade instead of dedicating an entire operator to it. For those who are not aware how Sens' gadget works, it is a little device that rolls across the floor, dropping out a bunch of tiny projectors. These projectors all shoot up and display a bright blue image, blocking the vision for both sides. The only people who can see through this is Glaz with his thermal scope, and Warden when he activates his glasses. That's exactly the same way that a standard smoke grenade operates as well. Glaz can see through it with his scanner, and Warden can use his glasses. Well, what other counters does Sens and a standard smoke grenade share? Both Sens and a smoke grenade can be countered by Jaeger and Wamai. Jaeger destroying them, and Wamai just moving them to the position of the magnet, and then the deployment happens. And I guess if you want to add this to it, if you throw either of these gadgets into a renegade, it will destroy both of them. Well, that is pretty much where the counters end for a standard smoke grenade. However, Sens keeps going. For starters, Sens can be directly countered by a mute jammer. It won't stop their gadget from rolling, however, it will stop any of the projectors that come out of it in that radius from deploying. Same case happens with the brand new defender Tubarão. Tubarão's gadget will stop Sens' gadget from rolling if it is frozen, and as well as this, if you throw this on a already existing wall that is up, it will completely shut off that projector, taking down that wall. Again, another counter to Sens, which a standard smoke grenade simply doesn't have to worry about. And that isn't even the end of it. Every single bit of Sens' projector wall can be easily taken down by a single impact grenade. You can destroy the projectors even once they're deployed. Not even just impact grenades, every single form of explosion. If you're going for a fuse and smoke grenade strat, you don't have to worry about blowing up your smoke grenade. When it comes to Sens, you do, because that fuse charge will destroy the Sens walls. Explosives on both sides will destroy it. And as well as this, before it's even finished its full detonation, if you shoot the rolling gadget which Sens has thrown, which is deploying these projectors, it will stop it dead in its tracks. So for an operator who achieves pretty much the exact same thing as a standard smoke grenade does, yet has multiple more counters, then it's no surprise that no one is picking Sens. That's not even to mention the fact that Sens' gadget is actually a bit more hectic than a standard smoke grenade and is less reliable. If I'm going for a site execute and I need to block off a head hole or a doorway in which an enemy is holding an angle from, then I know if I throw my smoke grenade down there, then a big bowl of smoke will go up and it will only cover that position I need. But then we've got Sens. If I want to block off this head hole or doorway and I throw my gadget, yeah, it'll block off that angle, but then it'll start bouncing off other objects and start deploying around the room as well. There's a high chance that this will then in turn block off an angle your teammate is using to cover you. It's so sporadic and unreliable that I just have no reason to ever bring this over a standard smoke grenade. When I get more direct and accurate coverage and less counters with a standard smoke grenade, then it's clear to see which is better. That is, if you even use smoke grenades. I would say the smoke grenades are probably the most underutilized secondary gadget in Rainbow Six Siege. So the average Siege player would probably agree that Sens is the worst operator in the game. And I have seen many people throwing out different ideas about what they should do with Sens. I did see that Pox gave his opinion, saying that they should make Sens' walls bulletproof and sort of change them into a wall coverage operator rather than a visual blocker. Now, if they want to do that, they would have to completely change Sens' gadget since it is projector based, and Ubisoft do like to have a sort of lore accurate gadget, so they would have to remove the projector aspect and have a different way of how you could deploy bulletproof walls from this little roly-poly device. I'm not going to deny the fact that Sens' walls being up to being bulletproof wouldn't be amazing, but that would also be kind of too too strong, I think. Like, you just head to a doorway off site, you throw Sens's gadget, you now have a completely bulletproof wall protecting you so you can go for a plant. Yes, a nitro cell, I guess, could still stop you, but I just feel like that is way too strong. I think we still need to stay in the ballpark of it being a blocker, but I feel like we need a little bit more of a reason to bring Sens, and also something to oppress the defenders a little bit more. Because right now, if you're a defender, if you just start running through Sens's walls, there's actually a chance that you might take an attacker by surprise, since their vision is also slightly limited, and they don't know exactly where you're going to emerge from. So I think Ubisoft should change Sens's gadget and make it a bit more oppressive. To begin with, you can keep all the current counters Sens already has. Mute jammers, tuberow, warden, impact nades, explosions, keep it. Actually, maybe make them a bit bulletproof, because I feel like the fact that you can blow them up is a bit too far. However, let's add a little bit of a scare to people getting close to the projectors. If you get too close to one of Sens's projectors, no, I'm not going to say it's going to ping you, because that is the laziest buff idea ever. Everyone always just goes, oh, well, this gadget sucks. Maybe if a defender or attacker gets close to it, it will ping them. No, I'm not going to say that. But if you as a defender get too close to Sens's wall, you'll start to appear through that wall as a small faint outline. Now, like I'm saying, this is only if you get too close to it. It's not going to be if you're standing way back from the wall, an attacker can see your outline through it and just start wallbanging you. No, this is if you as a defender get close enough, and it's more if you're about to push through that barrier yourself, then an attacker will see you coming. The same way tuberow works with frozen footprints. If you don't know, if you throw your gadget on the roof above you and there is someone walking in the frost, you can see their footprints through the floor. Nothing appears on your HUD, it doesn't ping them or anything, you can just visually see footprints. So the same case would work like this. A defender is getting quite close to one of Sens's projected walls, you'll start to see a faint outline of the defender. That gives you, as an attacker, using this Sens wall, a little advantage, because you're sort of pushing the defenders back a bit. You're scaring them, you're giving them a reason to stand back from this projector, and allow you, as an attacker, to get that diffuser down and take control of site. If that defender does want to get aggressive, that's fine, but the attacker is going to have a little advantage. Since that defender is getting close, that eagle-eyed attacker who's holding that angle will notice that silhouette start to appear, and they'll take them out before that defender gets through to the other side. Keeping in theme of this, how about we make it if a defender runs through one of Sens's projected walls, they have a tiny bit of a blinding effect. Nothing major, nothing like a flashbang or anything like that, but just a little bit of blindness longer than we currently have. It could even act similar to one of Fenrir's dread mines. You can run through Sens's walls right now and then easily see again once you get through it. If you added this little blinding effect, if a defender then runs through it now, then it will just have that blue filter on the screen for a few seconds longer. Nothing crazy, 1 or 2 more seconds. But again, it would just be another way to slow down that aggression and give Sens's projected barriers that little bit of an edge over smoke grenades. As well as this, earlier in this video, I was talking about how sometimes Sens's gadget goes on for a bit longer than you want it to. You cover up the initial angle you want to cover, but then it keeps going and starts blocking off some angles you were going to use yourself. Well, how about we add an option to it, similar to how Zofia, Capitao, and Grim have secondary options on their gadget. Grim especially, since he can go from bounce to just deploy when he impacts it. Do something similar with Sens. Have the first option be like the current one. If you throw it and it bounces off objects, it will just continue to deploy and bounce off those objects until its deployment is finished. But add a brand new second option, which will cause the ROU device to cease operation the moment it hits an object. So this means if you want to cut off a direct line of sight, but you don't want it to bounce along the room, you turn on this second option, you throw it, it rolls along the floor, but then when it hits the wall at the end of the room, it won't continue to bounce off of it, it will just stop and finish its deployment. I think that little option would be nice because I definitely don't really enjoy it when the gadget starts bouncing around the room and going places which I didn't intend it to go. I got that initial angle covered, but the gadget's still going. I don't want that second part to happen. And so I think all those little changes would be nice to Sens, but let's be honest, would the average Siege player still play Sens after that? I don't really know. So I think the biggest change you can make to Sens, and I don't know if they should do this, but I'm just putting it out there so you guys can hear it and you can give your thoughts in it, is give Sens their own goggles to see through their walls. That means if you're going for a site execute, Sens throws their gadget, Sens can then see through their gadget as can Glaz, but no one else on the attacking team can. Warden, of course, would be able to see through it as well, but this would allow Sense to play off their gadget much more than they currently can. You could add some limitations. Maybe the vision isn't as clear. Maybe it is only like a silhouette based and it's quite faint and it's not as clear as Glaz's scanner, for example. But I really just don't think this Sense is going to be played a lot unless they have an option to really bounce off of their gadget in a huge way. But yeah, everyone, those are a few concepts for how we could rework and make Sense better. I just simply can't see Sense in their current iteration going very far in this game, and I still think they're going to be regarded as the worst operator unless they get some major changes. Don't get me wrong, the thought of playing Sense and doing a cool sight execute by blocking off all the angles does sound very desirable, but the fact that Warden is one of the most played defenders, that's a direct counter right there. The fact that Mute is also one of the most played defenders, another direct counter, and the reasons I gave earlier in this video as to how a smoke grenade will just do the job better, then I really just can't see myself or any other players touching Sense in the near future. But yes, be sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section below about a rework to Sense in Rainbow Six Siege. What would you do to Sense? Or are you in the very vast minority and believe that Sense is fine and it's just a skill issue? Be sure to leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Drop a like on this video if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you're new. I shall catch you later. I love you all. Stay safe. Peace.